Transmission received.
Mysterion brings justice. You can't kill that which never dies.
Hey, what's up guys, welcome back to another South Park Phonostro video, and today we are going to do an official tier list which will be my opinions. Firstly, it's obviously I am more of a fantasy and mystical main, moving on to superheroes, so my knowledge on sci-fi and adventure isn't the greatest, but obviously I'm going to go off what I see and how I feel. So obviously this is not the someone's going to complain, and it's alright because it's my tier list, so it's only opinions. But I will leave the link in the description below if you want to make your own one. I have imported all of the images, so you can do your own one and see how it goes. But I should say this is actually, so yeah, I'm recording this on the day that the nerf came out, because I actually did try. This is my fourth time recording this, and each time it took 40 minutes, so it's been a while. But yeah, so it used to be nerf, and Incane must used to be called Incane, which is a self-explanatory. But yeah, a lot of people that put in nerf and buff actually got a buff and actually got nerfed, so there wasn't really a point of uploading that because they already just got nerfed. So we're gonna go through it quickly because yeah, it's gonna be a long one. So start off with Sharpshooter Shelly, who did just get buffed, so she's no longer there, but I still think she's underpowered. Obviously I haven't seen her new thing, but I believe only her ability got buffed, so not really that. Yeah, so Sheriff Cartman I think is underpowered, especially in the last Team Wars. He's not that good. Shield Maiden Wendy I think is a must use if you have her at level 3 in fantasy. It basically comes invincible for 3 seconds, which you can sometimes put off twice in 1 life, so that's pretty good. Okay, so Sexy Randy, he's not. I don't think he's a must use. I mean, if you have him at level 3, sure, you're gonna use him, but I don't think he's a must use. He's kind of I feel like obviously he is the second best Randy, right? Because the Pokemon's Randy is better. So I don't want to say he's okay. So these I should probably have it in between. But yeah, I'm gonna put him in perfect. He's at level 3. He's good. He's a 5 cost. The Rimbas are pretty good, and he kind of sneak towards the thing. Stamina means I think it's a must use. Token, Space Roar Token, I think is perfect. 2 cost. You kind of have to be wary about his charge, so that's always a thing. Smuggler Ike, I think he's a bit underpowered. Actually, no, I'll put him in good because you can get up to level 7, so that's alright. I'm gonna put Stan the Great in a buff section. He did get nerfed quite a lot when he was in his power, like the Stan the Great meta, pretty much. They should make his attack, because they halved his attack, right? So when he did get nerfed, so I think they should revert that, and because he's a common, right? So you got so many stands in the game, so make this guy actually powerful, and probably just remove all the attack, to be honest. Starvin Marvin used to be a must use, for me at least, during like the low ranks, because he was perfect, and there weren't that many flying units or ranged units in the game. Like there was no Beyblades, so yeah. Why not? Let's put him in buff. He's a bit underwhelming, but yeah, I want to see a buff from him, if I'm being honest. Storyteller Jimmy, I'm gonna put him in good, just for the sole fact now that rats have gotten buffed. So you know, you might see more use in rats, and he would be a good counter towards them. Big Al, good. He could snipe a bar for 6 costs. He's not the people already use him at a high rank, like level 6, and he's okay. Super Fart. Okay, I'm gonna put good because it doesn't do enough damage, but I think mine's level 5. It doesn't do enough damage to actually kill a bunch of people, but it is really good. It would be perfect if it did a lot more damage, just because sometimes you can push them away, and then it will pretty much make the enemy have an advantage rather than you. So that's why it's going good. If it didn't do that, if it actually just like always just wrecked, then it will go in perfect, but it doesn't. Mephisto, good. Flying cost, does a lot of damage, or AoE damage, so he can if you use him well, you can snipe a bar with it. And yeah, especially rats and hopefully running around now, we should see a lot more use in him. Terrence and Philip, I wouldn't say they're perfect, because to be fair, there are a lot of abilities in the game which can counter them, and you know, once they are separated, not the best, because Chomper, for example, can like separate both of them. Can kill both of them too. There's you can kind of separate them if you play properly, so they're not perfect, but they're good. They're good. Zora Garrison, I'm gonna put in good. I think she needs a buff. I don't really know. I did verse her at level 4 before, so she's just, the ability is not that good, if I'm being honest. Sexy on Randy. Not Sexy on Randy. Yeah. I want to say Sexy on Randy. What's his name again? Oh, I forgot his name. Jesus. Magician Randy. Oh my god, this guy's really embarrassing. Amazing Randy. Okay, that's it. Jesus Christ. Yeah. He's almost a must use. I mean, because he goes well with Bradley, but then Bradley just getting nerfed. No, you know what? I'm gonna say he's a must use. Like the Cox have a lot of HP because obviously they get buffed a while ago. He's super good, full cost. The only range Randy unit, so that's special. But yeah, I feel like he's a must use. I literally like every deck I have, he's always gonna be in it just because he's perfect. The Coon needs a buff. I think the buff should be when the superhero dies, he shouldn't lose the buff. Because right now apparently there's a bug where if you mind control him, he loses the buff because obviously he switches teams, and when he switches back teams, he doesn't have the buff no more. So I think that one way they can fix that as well is just make the buffs permanent, because as soon as you kill everyone, and especially with Ink Craig Fireball, so many abilities in the game where you can just rinse out the whole back line. At least Cartman can do some damage. So because I think he can get around like 350 attack, and it'll make it more useful for Kogo, because Kogo can spawn in another character in, and like it's perfect if he has that. And why not? Like, he's an epic, make him an actual threat, because he's the only character in the game that has a teamwork ability. Ninju, which is the only character I haven't gotten in the game. Why not? He's perfect. He buffs everyone. Super tanky, decent range. Can't really go wrong. Stan Toolshed. Good, because Chomper is a bit weird. I don't know. It's he's got, actually no, I'll put him perfect. Why not? He's a Chomper. Oh, and the fact you can disable any traps. So lava, all that stuff, you can get rid of it. And if we do see more traps coming in the game, which I expect to see like 2 more probably, or 1 more, he can be really good. So why not? Underpants Gnomes, 2 cost. Let's put them in good because they did just get buffed. So yeah, okay. Heidi, I think it's a bit underpowered now because like 2 costs, not bad. She used to be really tanky. And South Park, come on, I want to see more Heidis in other themes. Why do we only have Sharon, Heidi, and Shelly in the adventure theme? I want to see them in other themes like mystical and fantasy, because it'd be pretty cool. But yeah, so okay, so if this guy was 3 cost, I would put him here. Just he's okay at level 5, especially in Team Wars. He's actually kind of perfect. But I feel like once you get him to 6, even 7, he'll be a must use. But right now, most people are only gonna have him at level 5. There's not really that much of a use, to be fair. Obviously he is quite tanky, but he kind of dies pretty quick if they overrun him because he does cost 4. Transmog. It's good. It's not perfect like Unholy Combustion, because Unholy Combustion does damage the actual new kids and people around him. So I've used it before to take out like 3 units. So it's definitely a perfect because it damages the new kid. This guy, Transmog, actually makes a unit, makes a rat, which sometimes can ruin a push for you, because if you got an assassin coming, the assassin's got to take out the rat before he hits the new kid or something like that. So it's not the greatest. Towley. He's a perfect. He's a 3 cost slowness unit. You can't go wrong. You can really delay a lot of pushes with him. So yeah, you can't really go wrong with Towley. Visitors. I want to say perfect, but they're good. They're really good. Oh wait, not underwhelming. Yeah, they are really good. I want to say they're almost perfect, but Sci-fi is not the greatest theme, especially now with the Bradley nerf. Definitely not perfect. I don't know. Warboy tweak, decent, not bad. Okay, so Witch Doctor Broken, as people call him. He's definitely a must use if you have him level 3 in Mystical. I'm gonna put Zen in Perfect. He's definitely not a must use because I a lot of times do run Mystical without him. You know, there are a lot of things down the game, like for example Towley, which can slow a push down, so you don't always need Zen Cartman, but he definitely is a perfect just because of the fact he costs 3. Witch Garrison with the new buff, he's definitely a perfect. Slow the push down, he does 4 costs, so that's amazing. Compared to Zoro Garrison or Swordman Garrison. The 4 cost is amazing. Get this guy to level 6, he's actually crazy. Like, I was going to use him. I started requesting him to level 6 before he got buffed. I think there was a challenge event where he was boosted and I had him at level 6. And I did record a video on it, but I didn't upload it. But yeah, this guy was crazy. Okay, New Pastor Craig. I'm going to put it underpowered just because there's I mean, it's good if you use him with standard immunes because you keep the guy alive. But the fact his War Cry does take quite a while to come out. I have multiple times have actually stopped the push, like transmogged standard immunes or the Satan, oh not Satan, Santa, sorry. So the fact his War Cry animation takes so long, it's a bit underpowered. Buccaneer Baby can go into good. She's alright. She can get really damaged, but then you can just spawn like a rogue token or any decent strong unit in just to kill. So yeah, so okay, so he I would say Bound Account is perfect. He increases everyone's attack, can get quite high if you use it right, I guess. And he heals if he kills the unit. So he boosts attack and heals. It's a flying unit, so obviously that's like a bonus pretty much. So yeah, he's kind of perfect. Obviously, if he wasn't in sci-fi, he'd be a lot better. But Baby, first one going in the nerf section. 3 costs. She does so, especially level 6, even God forbid level 7. So much damage, man. Like the damage is crazy, comparable to even with Buccaneer Baby when she has her boost. The health is so much. Sometimes she's actually unkillable. You have to use like a transmog on her. But yeah, maybe nerf her a little bit with the health. I don't know. Sometimes she gets so hard to kill. Especially now with rats running around. If you want rats and gnomes and pigeons to be usable, you gotta nerf her. Because yeah, it looks like they're trying to buff swarm units a bit. So if you want to buff them, get rid of her. You don't get rid of her, but like nerf her a lot. So like half the health she heals or something. I don't know. Call Girl buff, definitely. She's not that good. Ike is, I want to say, perfect. He's the only character in the game that heals like, off a main ability, I guess. The way I see him is when I do use him, he's trading with assassins. So literally every assassin will die to him at level 6 at least, and he will survive with enough HP to heal it back. And obviously he's like basically a ticking time bomb. If you have him on the field for too long, he basically becomes invincible, which I love. So I've won countless of games with him. He's kills every assassin, even level 5 at level 6, depending on who's there actually. So yeah, he's just perfect. Survives the new kid blast and heals it all back. He's crazy. Captain Wendy, a bit underpowered. Her charge ability isn't even that good, in my opinion. Like I don't find that's a threat. So yeah, Catbull Timmy, he was a bit underpowered, I think, but now with the rat buff, he's probably gone a bit better. Classy, regardless of what they do to her, she is trash. Awesomeo is, I wouldn't say perfect, definitely good. Chomper needs a buff, I think. It not really a buff the Chomper, it just fix it. It's I can't really explain it, but I've used it a lot of times and it hasn't gone off. It goes off right before they get towards you. I think to just make the range a bit bigger, because I've seen like a dog poo or something walk past it, even though it looks like it's hitting it. It's weird. So definitely fix that. Cryboy Butters 2 cost. He's good. He's not, I won't say perfect. Because he only gives like what 0.25 energy back. I think if you do so, I'm not really sure. But yeah. Cox, Chicken Coop. Good. It would be perfect if Bebe didn't exist. So especially with Bebe, if you're running fantasy, you're probably always going to see her. So pretty much going to ruin the play for you. Croc Magic, definitely good, not perfect, because they did buff the chickens. So I've seen chickens take the whole bar if they use it. So yeah, I want to see a Cupid Cartman buff. He's not that good. His range is really small. He gets hit once by like a Timmy, he flies away. The knockback is similar. He's super lightweight, so he goes flying across the screen. Cyborg Kenny, a bit underpowered. He's not. I don't know. I just like, there's so many units, especially for me at least. I have Chomper. You have Professor Chaos that counters him. Rats now, for example, are getting more use. So he's 4 costs. I don't really see him as a threat, if I'm being honest. Even if he does mind control unit, it's not that big of a deal. And obviously you have the chance of New Kid killing him. So yeah, he's definitely a bit underpowered. What's his name? Dark Mage Craig definitely needs a buff. I'm not sure if they change his ability. Maybe make his ability last longer and make the AoE damage a bit, because if you don't know, he actually does do AoE damage. But it's just, yeah, he's not that good. Buff him. I'm gonna say this guy's a must-use. He's Dr. Timothy is stupidly crazy. His stats are so high. He survives almost anything, especially at level 5. He could survive an Inkling Craig before the nerf. He can survive at level 3 Static Mini Moons. He can survive at level 4 Hook and Clyde. Survive. I want to say a level 5 Fireball. If they do have a level 6, then he's dead. So yeah, he's really good. He's a must use. His ability doesn't look that crazy, if I'm being honest. If you're not used him, but I can tell you for a fact, he's you can pull off some really sick plays with him. Especially if they got like a Zen Cartman and a baby behind, you can obviously damage the baby, stall. Yeah, it's just, I can't stress enough how good he is. I don't think he needs a nerf, even though he is really good. I think that's what he should be, if I'm being honest, because the superheroes ain't got that crazy good OP cards. So at least let us have one. And you can get to level 6 as well. So in the future, you'll see a lot of level 6s of him, and he'll be stupid. Might need a nerf then. But yeah, doggies can go in trash. I would say Dragon Slayer Red is perfect, halves the attack, and you can use her level 1. Actually, you know what? No, she's a must use. The fact she's the only legendary card you can use at level 1 is a bonus. Like literally, you just have to use her, and she's 4 cost, so you can't really go wrong with her. Definitely a must use if you're using fantasy. Dog Poo, good. Level 4, he's not bad. You can't really go wrong with him. Alien Clyde, a bit underpowered, I think. I don't know. He's just. He can kill a tank. Don't get me wrong. If you can get the play off, he'll kill a unit. But yeah, he's just that's not really good. Deckhand Buzz, I'd say a bit underpowered. I don't know. He's just, you can go wrong with him, if I'm being honest. Like he heals the closest unit, which I've seen multiple times go wrong in opponents. So yeah, Dwarfkin Clyde, I would put him perfect, but obviously he's got bugs. This guy was in nerf, but now I think he's perfect. Obviously the main thing about Bradley is the range increase, and then now they halved his attack speed. Not attack speed. They nerfed his attack, and he walks 20% faster, right? So he's not broken like he would have been here last time, but now with the nerf, he's definitely perfect. Energy Staff, good. It would be perfect if you could use it outside of the double energies period, but you can't really. I would put this guy here. Oh, not here, sorry. Here. Oh. I would put him in perfect. 2-cost card. He can. His range is actually kind of big, and I think, correct me if I'm wrong, the more you increase him, the bigger the range gets. 2-cost stops power bind, so it definitely towards me. If I see this guy, it kills my garrison because you can't slow him down. It's even reached further enough to actually stop my Dr. Timothy, so you definitely get perfect. He's not the crazy amount of damage or health, but the fact he costs 2, he can go pretty well. Freeze, I would say trash, even if they buff it. He's just like, why the hell would you use that unless you're using Doggy? 4-ass monkeys. yeah, he's good. I think his attack speed's quite low, but he does do quite a lot of damage. Fireball, it's definitely not a must use, but I would say perfect if you have a level 6. It can kill almost anything. Crazy value. Okay, so this guy, he was close to perfect, but then he did just get fixed, as they called it. He can no longer target area flying units, so well, not target flying units. If there's a ground unit, or if he targets the new kid and there's a flying unit in his way, he would actually damage the flying unit. Now he no longer does that, so definitely good. This guy, see, that's the thing about underpowered and buff, because they can all be buffed. But I mean, he's just, yeah, he's maybe make the range bigger. I don't know if they could buff him, because he's kind of good if you have him level 7, but he's kind of underpowered, if I'm being honest. Alien drone, a droid or drone, I don't know what it's called. It's good. It used to be perfect, I could say, because you couldn't unholy combustion it. So sometimes you would get someone who tries to to predict something and just unholy combustion it, but now it can be unholy combustion. So I don't know. It's obviously he can't be debuffed and all that stuff, but he's good. He's not perfect. Gizmo needs a buff. More or less actually underpowered, because the area units in the game, just poison, fireball, rogue token, there's so many things that can just stop them. If anything, he needs a rework, if that ever becomes a thing. Just, yeah, he's not that good. Grandmother Cartman, not perfect. He is good. He's cost 6, so if you're not using Poke Timmy with him, you'll kind of lose the energy, because if the unholy combustion or transmog, I know for a lot of times if I see they're using fantasy and sci-fi or something, if I see they're not using mystical, I'm just gonna unholy combustion or transmog him. So yeah, I got 1 energy advantage. This guy is underpowered. I think if they buff him, he's not that good. Yeah, he's not. I don't see. Definitely the worst Kyle. He's just like, why would you use him over like sci-fi, or why would you use him over mystical? Because the mystical one stays for longer, which to be fair is a legendary. So yeah, Hook and Clyde, good. Obviously not perfect, because it can go wrong. If you want him to hit the new kid, he'll hit a target. If you want him to hit the target, he'll hit the new kid. So yeah, you can't always rely on him. But obviously he does come in clutch. So yeah. Hermes Kenny, he's good. Free cost. I think he is one of the best assassins in the game. Hercules Clyde, I think he's a buff. And can I see it? Okay, yeah. So I'll touch on it later. But Hercules Clyde power binds, and a lot of time he doesn't kill the unit. Which, I mean, if you're gonna go kill the unit, I don't know why you just wouldn't use Dwarf King Clyde. But the power bind, for example, Mecca Timmy, if you use Hercules Clyde to target a Mecca Timmy, the Mecca Timmy will probably end up surviving and then stay alive long enough to outlive the power bind. So if you don't know, power bind does actually have a limit on it. So I think they should make power bind infinite. I mean, why not? Especially with Hercules Clyde. It's just like, it's kind of a mug to use this guy and then the person to survive and then also get rid of the power bind. It's, yeah. Hallelujah used to be perfect because it used to hit increase the max health, but now it doesn't, I don't believe. So just put it in good. I would put him in perfect. I don't know. I mean, obviously he's like not crazy because obviously you can fireball him or rogue token, but I think the fact he is his health does, even at level 3 can survive like a max level 4 token. So having this guy at level 5 will be broken. Having him at level 4, max 4, which most people will get soon, is just, you can't really go wrong. I guess the reason why he's not a must use is because when he does cast his invincibility shield, targets can actually run out of the circle, which I've seen multiple times from assassins. So yeah, definitely not a must use. Ice Stamper Wendy, trash, regardless of what they do, she's not going to be good. Hyperdrive, good. It used to be perfect, if you remember, it was really broken. Butters, Astro Butters, definitely good, not perfect, not underpowered. It can wreck a bar if the right person gets the speed. Imp Tweak, I think needs a buff. I don't know. It's like the cast is a bit long. It's just like he's not that good. For being honest. Kyle, I would put in good just because of the fact he is he has pretty much the best ability in the game. Makes everyone invincible for like quite a while. I've seen people use him. I guess the thing is people don't really want to use him. He is a bit fast, obviously, but any changes they do to him will pretty much break the character. If they buff him too much or too little, he would actually be really good. And if they nerf him, he'd be like unusable. So I put him in a good section because, yeah. Nino Kenny, I would say trash. Yeah. I don't know. It's just the ability is stupid. It can kill people. He costs 4. So pretty much anyone other than a tank, is it really worth it? If I'm being honest, like imagine if assassin kills him, then it's just like huge value for yourself other than your opponent. King Craig was in nerf, but obviously he did just get nerfed, so he's in the must use now. Even though before he would have been in must use, but you kind of got to put the nerf there. Lego or Lava. Definitely underpowered card. It's why would you use that over like Chomper? Because they're filling up the superior theme quite well now, or quite fast. So I can't really see a spot in Lava it being in my deck unless it's like, you know, I put it in buff actually. They need to buff it. They make the range bigger. What it does is alright. I think yeah, just make it bigger and it'll be a lot more usable because it's quite slim. So yeah. Mecca Jimmy, like what's the name? What's the name? Leobar Jimmy, that's it. He's definitely good, not perfect, not underpowered. He doesn't need a buff. He's just good. Lightning Bolt, I would say perfect because you can. When you do need to use it, it's kind of good. You can use it on Cinnamon Immunes. You can kind of use it fast on an King Craig. You can use it on any target you want to get rid of, other than a tank, which it does cost 4. So if you want to take out a Human Kite, for example, it's pretty good. If you want to take out a Bradley, it's not bad. Definitely not. Yeah, just not a bad card. Marcus, he's not perfect, but he definitely is good. I would say closer to good. Yeah, this isn't in order, by the way. He would be one of the better goods, but yeah, if I was rating them in order. Marine Craig, a bit underpowered. He's not crazy. You're pretty much only using him for the poison damage on the new kid. Okay, it's getting quite full now. Okay, Mecca Jimmy, I would say is a must use, right? Like I think everyone can agree on that. He's pretty much one of the best sci-fi cards. And he has really good synergy with other sci-fi cards like this guy here. Arrowstorm, I would say is a perfect card if you have him at high level, especially level 5. It's going to clear the whole board. Can't really go wrong with it. Does it cost 5 or 4? I think it's just 5, right? Man Bear Pig, good, because obviously if you do have that level 4, then yikes, rip. But you kind of got to use it with like Grandmother Cartman. You got to use it with Pope Timmy, and a lot of times you do see it coming, so you can just spawn in a I like to always unholy combustion it, and that's just huge value gone. Medicine Woman Sharon, I think it's her name. Yeah, she needs a nerf. Stupidly broken card in my opinion. The heal is just way too much. It heals the new kid for so much too. Adds on that the fact she's an adventure, so I mean making the adventure theme 100 times stronger. Decent attack. She actually attacks pretty fast. The range is pretty good as well. So I mean, I think she just needs a nerf. It comes back super fast as well if you have a hanky. So yeah. I'm putting Baby in perfect because she does actually counter death wishes. So if you do see more Mysterions in the future, she's a good counter towards him. The reason why she's not a must use is because I think Baby is better at level 6 if you do have her this girl at level 3. But it obviously comes down to what level, because if you do have this girl at level 5, even level 4, she's a must use. But if you compare him to level 3, I guess it's, yeah, I don't see her as a must-use in Mystical. Mimsy a bit underpowered, or even good. I don't know, like, cost 6, you can kind of use any removal card on him. Obviously, he does have pretty good synergy, like with Fireball, for example. But yeah, he's a bit underpowered. Mind Control, good. He does cost 4, and you can only use it on your side, even though you can kind of go a bit over to the enemies. Pretty good counter towards Dougie. It's really good against like standard enemies. If they have the charge ability, you can just rob it and then damage their units. Mackie is trash. Hanky is perfect. It's basically super tanky, especially level 4. Mosquito, good. It would be a perfect if his Warcry animation didn't take too long. Okay, I'm trying to speed through this. It's getting quite long. Slave. Why not? He's perfect. The only really good counter towards him is Transmog and DSR. So, and obviously his, I wouldn't call it a bug, but sometimes he does feel like he's healing more than he should. So this guy can stay alive for quite long, and you do have to spawn quite a bit of units down to kill him. Mysterion needs a buff. Wendy needs a buff. Nelly needs a buff. Nathan, I would say good. Level 6 can't really go wrong. Same with PC Principal, it's kind of good. Buzz, I would go as far as say perfect. That invincibility shield can be really, really good. Obviously with doggies, for example, and he costs 2. Pretty good attack speed. You can't really go wrong with Paladin and Butters. This guy is a bit underpowered. I would say even a buff, but I don't know. I just don't really like tweaks. I think all tweaks need a buff, to be honest. Every tweak does like no damage, so maybe buff all tweaks. Officer Barbrady, I would say underpowered a bit. Obviously, his range is pretty good on his explosion, but if you don't know, you can spawn a unit behind him, and he will start hit. Because when he does hit, he knocks back. So you kind of want to make him hit towards his new kid. So yeah, he's a, I guess if he didn't do that, then maybe, I don't know, I just don't really see much use of him. I still see Pigeons are underpowered. They did just get buffed, obviously, which will make them more usable, but once again, Bebes exist, so it's just a field day. It's just for Bebes. Yeah, maybe decreases energy, I don't know, they're not that good. Parachute Timmy, I would say underpowered. He's super fast. His ability doesn't even do that much damage, if I'm being honest. And yeah, he's super fast, so I don't really like Parachute Timmy. Poison, I would say underpowered. There used to be a time where it was broken, but now it's not that good. Okay, we just drag this guy up here. Hang on. There we go. Personally, I think he needs a nerf. He attacks way too fast. It's actually stupid how much how fast he attacks. But maybe that makes him perfect. I don't know. So people will probably disagree with this one. I've seen comments where people complain about him saying he does need a nerf, which I kind of agree on. But then again, his actual summon animation takes quite a while, and it isn't that good. So yeah, especially, oh yeah, God forbid he's level 5. He's just crazy. AQR, Alien Queen Red, probably would be a must. Yeah, why not? I would say it's a must use for sci-fi. It's a 5-cost card. It's the only reliable poison it gets, because obviously whoever gets hit by it is dead, because the poison doesn't, you can't cure the the poison is infinite basically. Unlike this poison, it doesn't stop, and oh yeah, unlike this poison, it doesn't actually it doesn't go, and I think if you are high level, like level 6, it's just gonna rinse people, so why not? This guy is going in trash. Powerbind, like I said, needs a buff. Just make it infinite, in my opinion. Pope Timmy, I think, needs a nerf. How they could nerf him, I don't know, but I think that's what he does. He needs Oh no, I don't see him as a problem. I think everyone else would probably agree that he needs a nerf. The Silent Stand is underpowered. I don't know what they can buff with him to make him good, but I think overall this card isn't that good. Professor Chaos is perfect now because obviously they did fix him, you know, if technically a buff. He no longer damages your enemies, or sorry, your allies. So 3-cost card, super good against doggies. If they have a pirate, if they have a Cyborg Kenny, it's perfect because he can't be man controlled. Especially good against Timmy, so good counter towards sci-fi. Princess Kenny needs a buff. She they nerfed her really hard a while ago. Basically, her death wish is 5 seconds, which I think should go back to 10, because by the time the person who kills her gets the new kid, the death wish is gone. So yeah, make that 10 seconds. Maxi is good. Kind of got to use. You kind of got to have him at level 7 or even 6. Got to use puppetry with him, so he's not perfect. Because he needs a lot of support. Definitely good. So I don't use Program Stan, but I think I've heard people say he needs a buff. He's kind of bad. People that say he isn't bad. Don't use sci-fi. I heard people say that, so I'm gonna put him good. But you have to let me know in the comments below if this guy needs a buff. I think people should said that he should have a slowness effect after they get frozen. So that they're frozen and then they have the slowness effect for like a second or two, which would make sense because obviously they're frozen and they're kind of like slow. Yeah, so I'm gonna put him in good. Maybe people would disagree with that. I don't know. I don't really use him. Regen, it's just like, it's not that good no more, but I'd say it's underpowered. Obviously you can get a pretty good thing off it, but like, if someone does pop regen, it's because they're weak and you kind of have a lot of answers to it, like Rogue Token for example, Fireball even. You kind of have a, yeah, you can kind of answer quick to it. So yeah, Rats, I don't want to say perfect. They might be now, but I think at level 7, I'll just put them in good for now because I haven't seen what they can do yet, but I know for a fact they're gonna be pretty good because they were already pretty good. Obviously with Beyblades kind of lowers them down a bit, but yeah. Also, I don't think I said this yet, but I should say it. This is only competitive. Obviously, it would be a completely different tier list if it was towards Team Wars. So obviously it's just ladder, normal games, skill rating, blah blah. So yeah, this guy is definitely decent. Yeah, I'm gonna put Sally in trash. 2-cost card. Basically the same. Okay, so obviously not the same, but basically the same as Smuggler Ike. But the fact is, she don't buff herself. I think she might have a little bit more health. She might have a little like faster attack animation than Smuggler Ike. But literally, why the hell would you use her over Ike? They both cost the same. I mean, obviously, back in the day when Assassin Spam was a thing, she was perfect. But now I think she's just kind of trash. And she is an assassin, so regardless of what they do, I don't think they can buff her that much. Purify, a bit underpowered because there's not many things that you need to purify nowadays. Obviously sci-fi is not as used as much. You can't really, there's no point purifying yeah, just like purify is only really good against sci-fi, and sci-fi is not really used that much. And yeah, most abilities in the game now just do damage, so you're not really using that much. Doggy going trash. Baby good because she can get quite a thing. I'm gonna put this guy in buff. The health he does is obviously really good. He does cost 4 for a 4-cost card. He's got trash stats. Super weak. It's just tweaks I think need buffs. Obviously apart from this guy. Maybe yeah, just his damage I guess. This tweaks need a buff in damage. Rogue token, I would say, is a perfect, not a must use, because you can kind of get around him depending on what theme you're using. But yeah, it's works really well with DSR, can kill a push. Good AoE damage, turns into a card after as well. And as a card, he isn't that bad. He has quite good stats, and he does have pretty fast attack animation, so he does actually do some quite good damage. Sano, he's a good. Works well in any theme, if I'm being honest. He costs 5, right? If he was 4, I think I'll put him perfect. But yeah, I think he's good, because obviously he has to have charge abilities with him, so if you don't have any charge abilities, he's not that good. Yeah, and it's kind of predictable. I mean, if you see this guy, you pretty much know for a fact he's going to spawn a standard mini moons in, so you can kind of predict it. This guy is trash. Like I said before, with Purified, there's not many status effects elements in the game, whatever, so you don't really see much use in this guy. I think he needs a full rework, just change his ability to something else, because yeah, it's not carne. Getting to the end now. Section on Randy is going to go good. He does cost 5, so obviously he has that drawback of being unholy combusted, and yeah, it's just he's not that good like this guy here. Scout Ike, I'd say needs a buff. He's just not that good. He is a common card, so obviously commons have that. Yeah, he's not that good. Satan, good. Would be perfect if he didn't damage his own unit. And lastly, we have Dougie. Oof. Alright, there we go. This is on my tier list for South Park Frontier Real. It is everyone currently in the game. I think next week we are going to get a new card probably. So, people comment below, because I do get a lot of comments after the fact that this video has been posted, like months later, about where's this card. So, I mean, if you get a bunch more cards, or hell, even a new theme in the future, I'll make a new one. But this is the whole tier list right now. As of, let me check the date. It is the 1st of October. Let me know on who you think needs a buff or who needs a nerf, as well as where you put certain cards. Like I said, I will leave the link in the description if you want to make your own one. I'm not really sure. I think if you want to share it as well, here's my Twitter here. You can do all that stuff. And you want to show me it, why not? I think you can even save it on the actual site so I could view it. Yeah, like view community ranks, I guess. So yeah, let's have some fun with creating this tier list. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. It was a bit of a long one, so I want to get this up now while the new patch is up. So yeah, thank you guys for watching, and peace.